Hey y'all, I'm Chris, and this is It Worth It, y'all? And today we are going to take you through what I do when I find protein on sale. So on this day, we picked up a couple packs of bratwurst and a couple packs of shaved steak that we used for Philly cheesesteaks. First on the list is we've got to deal with these bratwurst. What I like to do with beer brats is actually cook them in beer first and then put them on the grill. I used about a half a can of this beer per pack. Now for the shaved steak, I season this with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. I think I use some oregano as well because we are going to dress this with cheese and Country Bob's sauce later. Now with this shaved steak, it goes really fast. This does not take very long to cook. A couple 3 minutes on each side and you're good to go. Don't forget to cover those brats. That way they cook evenly and all the way through. I will cook those to about 135 degrees and then move them to the flat iron. This steak is looking fantastic. It is browning up nicely. Now something to remember with steak like this, you can always put this in a vacuum sealed bag or Ziploc bags and freeze any leftovers that you don't use for dinner or lunch the next day. And the steak for our sandwiches is done. It looks really, really good. And spoiler alert, it was really, really good. Quick check on the brats and they are coming along nicely. All right, time to move these bratwurst from their little comfortable bath onto the griddle so we can get some color on the brats. I like to put this color on the brats because if you just look at the color, you don't really want to serve somebody this pale, weird looking bratwurst. You want to actually put some color on it. So it's not that it needs to be cooked anymore. We just want to make it look pleasing to the eye and add some grill texture to the casing that's on that bratwurst. Second batch going in. Now it's always a good idea to get a temperature check on your food just to make sure you're bringing it up to the appropriate temperatures and everything is safe. And that's what we were looking for. Look at those nice grill marks. Now it doesn't look so blah and bland of a bratwurst. We're going to get that other side grilled up and then we're ready to either store them, freeze them, or serve them up. Next on the list, I found a pork butt that was like 99 cents a pound. So, of course, I bought one. I got the smallest one this time instead of the largest one. And we cooked it up for about an hour in the Instant Pot on high pressure. Right here is where I'm pulling it out of the Instant Pot. And what we are going to do is we're going to actually take a cleaver to it so we can chop it up into smaller pieces after it cools off because this stuff is smoking hot. So we can get this actually we're going to make TV dinners and we're going to make whatever's left, we're going to can in a quart jar. And this is what we've got after we run a cleaver through the pork. The first thing we make with our pork are our TV dinners, and we're going to start with adding probably 12 to 12 and a half ounces of pork to each container. As the sides to this pork, we're going to add some riced cauliflower and then a vegetable medley. Greg and I are still quasi following keto, so we wanted to make sure we stick with the program. And to jazz things up a little bit, I found this peach butter lingering, so we went ahead and added some peach butter to the mix. I tested it before I put it in, and oh my goodness gracious, it is so good. For the rest of that leftover pork, what we're going to do, and the way that we like to preserve our pork, is we actually like to can it as pulled pork. The texture stays very similar to what it is. The flavor stays very similar to what it is whenever you just cook it outright. And so we really enjoy making this a shelf-stable product to keep on the shelf for later. Now, this time we just did the pork by itself. We did not add barbecue sauce. That way we can use this more. It's more versatile this way. So we're going to can this. Yeah, I know it's just one jar, but it's one more jar on the shelf for a pork butt that didn't cost very much. Instead of using water, we're just going to use the liquid that the pork butt created to put in the jar, so we have an inch headspace with the pork and then the liquid that it produced. Per usual, we're going to debubble and top back off to get this ready for the canner. Now, especially with proteins, you want to make sure you get the vinegar out. Don't just use water on this one. I recommend you use vinegar. Wipe the rims to make sure all of that fat and any debris are off of that jar so you get a good seal. Lid finger tight and we're ready to go. Make sure y'all ask for one of these for Christmas. We've got one jar, so I don't have to drag out the big canners. We can just use our electric pressure canner and can that one jar for 90 minutes. Quarts, usually on hamburger or pulled pork like this, 90 minutes in a pressure canner. And that's it, y'all. That is what we do when we randomly find some really good deals on some proteins to make sure we can utilize them in our pantry. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, until we see you on the next video, bye, y'all.